Hello. Today I'm going to talk about the power of a mind living in stillness. In mindfulness practice, a still mind is one that is not dominated by a constant stream of thoughts, judgments, critics, or distractions. It is not also about having a blank mind, but rather a mind that is free of mental clutter. A still mind is present and aware, open to whatever arises without attachment or resistance. It's a mind that observes the world around it with clarity and calm, without getting swept away by every thought or feeling. When we practice stillness, we learn to let go of the mental noise, creating space for a deeper sense of peace and presence. At first, sitting in stillness can feel like a battle. Our minds are constantly buzzing, thoughts swirling in every direction, racing ahead, refusing to slow down. But it can feel like you're trying to hold back a tide of mental noise. And no matter how hard you try, it just keeps coming. In those moments, you might wonder if you're doing something wrong. You might even want to give up and believe that true stillness is impossible for someone like you. But I want you to know this, it's not just you. It's not a sign of failure or a lack of ability. This is how it feels for everyone at first. The mind is naturally active, constantly processing and making sense of the world around us. And when we ask it to sit still, to quiet down, it's like asking a restless child to stop running and sit calmly. It's hard, messy, and can feel like a fight. When you start practicing stillness, you might find that the more you try to quiet your mind, the louder it becomes. Your thoughts jump from one thing to another, your plans for the day, your worries, your to-do lists, even random memories you thought you had forgotten. It's overwhelming and it can feel like you'll never reach the peaceful moment of quiet. But here's something I want you to remember. It's normal. The struggle is part of the process. Do not be discouraged. Even though it may feel like a fight in the moment, every second you spend sitting with the chaos is a step towards peace. It's like tending a garden. The weeds may crowd in at first, but with patience, they begin to lose their grip, and space is created for something more beautiful to grow. The key to stillness is not forcing the mind to be quiet. In fact, the more we try to force it, the more resistance we create. Instead, the path to stillness is about letting the thoughts flow and allowing them to come, not judging them, but simply let them pass by. When they arise, we notice them without attaching to them. We don't need to hold on to them or chase them down or argue with them. Just observe them and allow them to fade as naturally as they came. It's in these moments of struggle that true growth really happens. The very discomfort you feel is part of the practice. Don't rush to quiet your mind. Let it run its course. The storm will pass, and when it does, you'll begin to notice the stillness underneath. It's like waiting for a calm after a storm. It might take time, but the peace is always there. It's just waiting for you to sink into it. I know that it's tempting to give up the moment your mind won't stop, when the restlessness feels unbearable. But this is the moment when you must simply hang in there. You're not failing, you're not broken, you're practicing. The more you stay with it, the easier it'll be to accept the chaos of the mind. And eventually the chaos will soften. The storm will quiet down and you will experience a fleeting moment of stillness. In these moments, you will realize that do not need to fight. You just needed to wait, to allow, to be. The secret is patience. The struggle is not a sign that you're doing it wrong. It's simply the mind's natural resistance to stillness. And it's something every single person faces. So instead of expecting immediate calm, allow yourself to be present with the struggle. Allow your thoughts to rise and fall. And when you notice the stillness creeping in, even if it's just for a moment, savor it. It's in these moments you will begin to feel a sense of peace, and that's when you'll know you're on the right path. It won't be easy at first, but I promise you it will be worth it. Stay with it. Let the mind be as it is, and soon the stillness you seek will no longer feel like a fight. It will feel like home. As you grow into your practice of stillness, you'll begin to notice something truly powerful. The way stillness transforms how you approach the world. In the quiet, you're going to find clarity. When you are able to sit with your thoughts without rushing or reacting, your mind will become sharper and your decisions more deliberate. In the moments of stillness, you can hear your inner voice most clearly. You'll begin to see things that were once clouded by distraction, your true desires, your values, your priorities. The inner clarity becomes your guide, allowing you to make decisions not based on stress or impulse, but from a place of calm and wisdom. When you are still, your choices come from a place of understanding, not fear or haste. Stillness also helps you move through life with greater ease. In the hustle and bustle of daily tasks, it's easy to get caught up in the rush, make quick decisions that do not serve you well. But when you practice stillness regularly, you begin to approach life with a grounded awareness. You move through challenges with greater patience and grace, seeing the bigger picture, instead of reacting impulsively to every problem that arises and making quick, rash decisions. The benefits extend beyond just making better decisions. In everyday interactions, you'll find yourself more present with others. Stillness helps you to listen deeply, respond with kindness, and be more attuned to the needs of those around you, whether it's at work, with family, or in your relationships. The calmness you cultivate in stillness will naturally flow into every part of your life, making it richer and more fulfilling. Sometimes we can get so caught up in the whirlwind of life that we forget to check in with ourselves. When your mind and your life are out of alignment with stillness, it can show up in subtle and not so subtle ways. You may notice that your thoughts are constantly racing, jumping from one worry to the next, unable to rest on any one thing for long. You might feel overwhelmed by the demands of daily life as though there is something pulling your attention in multiple directions. Your mind will feel crowded, as if it's full to the brim and there's no room to breathe. In these moments, you might also find that decision-making becomes much harder. When we're not living in stillness, decisions often come from a place of panic or haste, rather than clarity and calm. You might make choices quickly without fully considering them, or second guess yourself endlessly, unsure of which path is right. Life can also feel chaotic. You're moving from one task to another. Your body is never quite at rest. There's a constant sense of being on the go, rushing through your day without truly living in the present. You may also notice irritability creeping in. Small things that wouldn't usually bother you start to feel like the biggest annoyance. Once you recognize these signs, racing thoughts, scattered decisions, a sense of overwhelm, it's time to pause. It's time to return to stillness. This isn't a failure. It's simply a reminder to take a breath, to step back, and to find the peace that always has been there beneath the surface. If your mind is not still, if you dream of a mind that is quiet and thoughtful and not racing or being a constant critic to you, please go to mammothedge.com and take the life assessment. I would love to share my tools with you on living with a quieter mind in stillness. Thank you.